Hi, and welcome back to Ruby Breaks Baseball. It is a Yelp Friday, but we are doing cross promotions with my friends over at 7 Songs and a Companion. And I see we already have Jenna. Hey, Jenna.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going great. It's such a nice thing to have you here. And our subject matters cross over today and tie into each other. So
Yes.
that's fun. But you're a co-host, right? You split hosting,
Yes,
right?
I do have a co-host.
And where is your co-host?
He's busy at the moment. He's unable to be here.
You know what? Me, Ruby, I'm gonna go see if I can find this MF. You hold on for a second. Hey, hey,
Hey,
hey, how you doing,
you're
babe?
here.
Yeah.
Great.
What's my line? Oh. 7 Songs and a Companion is a production of Cheap Mike Entertainment. Yeah, it's me. That's me. That's my line. I'm Ruben. Where's that other fucker at?
I don't know. He left to go get you. I don't get it.
I don't get
When
it.
one of you goes, the other one shows up. It's really confusing.
You know what? Let me go get that motherfucker and bring him back, and we'll come back together.
Okay.
I couldn't find him, but
You
anyways,
couldn't find him.
fuck him. Fuck
Oh,
him.
man.
You know what? If this guy has a hot piece of A like you, can't be here.
Oh, man. Thanks.
Ruben's fine, but maybe Ruby could be the man for you.
Sounds good. Sounds good to me. We'll trade
Oh,
him.
I don't
I'm
like,
just
I don't like
kidding.
the betrayal. You can't. No, that's horrible. Anyways, Ruby Breaks Yelp, like with lots of hand movements for some reason,
Yes.
is reviewing a non-sports, non-comic. Today we're doing Yelp reviews for the San Francisco institution of the Muni line J Church.
Whoa.
And Ruby was born in California. I know that your husband and co-host, Ruben,
Yes.
knew about J Church as a band prior to he knew the J Church line, Muni line.
That's right. Yeah, he did.
And is that true for you too, or were you already hip?
That is definitely true for me. That is definitely true for me. The band J Church, they actually started in San Fran, but eventually, as one of the founding members left, they moved over to Austin.
Really?
Yeah,
They've had quite the journey, right? Because didn't they start
they have.
didn't they start in Hawaii with the band
They did. Yeah, the two guys were from Hawaii.
that's actually going to be on your 45 Fridays today, right?
Yes. So 45 Friday, we're going to do their very first band. We're going to do Cringer.
Mm-hmm.
So they started as Cringer. And I'm going to call them by their last names, which is Han and Maxim.
Right.
These two guys started as Cringer. And eventually, when Cringer went defunct, they formed J Church.
And by that, we're living in San Francisco.
Right. While they were living in San Francisco. Yeah.
And apparently, we can assume that they were well acquainted with the J Church line of Muni.
Yeah. So one of the founding members would ride the J Church line. Yeah. to band practice every day. So that was how they got their name.
Nice. That's nice. I like it. And
yeah,
people absolutely, as we'll see in the reviews later, people absolutely love and loathe the J.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, there's some choice reviews about the J Church.
There really are. So
Yeah.
why should Ruby Breaks Baseball fans, why should they be paying attention to Cringer and or J Church?
Well, so Cringer, well, a couple of things. First of all, they're awesome punk rock bands, but not just punk rock bands. J Church is very prolific in that they have printed more records. I don't know that they printed more records than anyone else, but they have printed, there's something like 150 records that they've done in their time. And that's considering that in 98, one of the main members left. And then they officially disbanded in 2007 when Han passed away. So he still kept it going the entire time, even after Maxim left. And so anyways, it's worth it for the music. They are also really well known for doing splits. They've done splits with so many bands. And so it's kind of, they're also one of those bands that if you really like them and you're really into them, they're a fun band to kind of go hunt for their 45s or hunt for their LPs and just kind of figure out like, where can I find it? You know, it's like a treasure hunt.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, and I would say that their drummer was the drummer from Jawbreaker, which is also an important connection.
Absolutely. One of Ruby's favorites.
Yes, yeah. So, I mean, just for the fun of the music alone, they're worth it. You can start with Cringer or not. You could just start with J Church and just, I mean, they have enough, there's enough out there that you could just go and kind of dig into it and enjoy it.
Now, I've been to IG and I've seen the 7 songs and the companion IG films or reels or whatever, and I've seen the stories. And it seems to me that you're big into indie labels. Were they on an indie label?
They were on multiple indie labels. They were on a lot of different labels.
Can you name?
They were on one of the labels that we liked a lot, that me and Ruben liked a lot, that's now defunct. They were on Honest Ons for a little while. Cringer was on Lookout. I mean, they've been on a lot of different labels.
Nice. And then what song are you going to play for your fans today?
What song? Oh, what J Church song or what 45 am I going to play?
So what 45 are you playing today?
Oh, yeah. I'm going to play this. And we're going to listen to, we listened to the whole 45 on 45 Friday. So we're going to be listening to Cocktail Molotov, Understand, Step Back, and Confession. So you can see this one is on Lookout.
Another Bay Area institution.
Yep. And I was sad to learn that I don't think I realized that about 2 years ago, they officially shut everything down. Lookout did.
Yeah. They had some
I didn't realize that.
I believe. So
yeah.
They owed
unfortunate.
A lot of people a lot of money, so they didn't have many choices there.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
I'm not defending them owing people money. I'm just saying that they just I think there was some bad management going on over there.
Yeah.
And we see this a lot sometimes with the creatives. They're really good at picking artists or sharing art, but they're not necessarily great at the X's and O's on the business side.
Right. Yeah, that's very true.
All right. Well, it's been really fun having you on the show. And if you want to lose the zero and get with a hero, Ruby, you know how to find Ruby.
And, I do. I definitely do.
And do you have any parting thoughts that you'd like to leave our audience with?
Yes, I do. I have a few. First, go listen to our podcast, 7 Songs and a Companion, because it's fantastic and you'll love it. You'll learn a lot about music. Second, support independent labels, support independent venues. Right now, they're really suffering. They were just doing a live on NPR's Instagram about what can be done to help them. Talk to your Congress people about it. There is legislation that's currently being looked at to try to get them some funds. But every aspect of the concert industry is hurting. And then just generally go over to our Instagram. I do videos on Monday and Friday. Send us messages. We take recommendations. So if you have 45, you're like, man, do this 45 or whatever, that would be cool too.
What is you said you post on Mondays. I know that your Friday post is the 45 Fridays. What do you have on Mondays?
On Mondays, we do album of the week. So every week I pick a different album and we just do a little short. It's like a 2 to 3 minute video talking about that album, sharing about the artist. And then we might listen to a couple of seconds of the songs in the background. So yeah.
Sounds fun. Really
Yeah.
appreciate you being here, and tell that MF he missed the interview.
I will. Take care, Ruby. Keep doing what you're doing. I love it.
Hey, I love 7 songs, and plug me whenever you get a chance. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I will for sure.
All right.
Okay. Bye.
Bravo, guys. Special thanks to Jenna and Ruben from 7 Songs and a Companion. Thanks for joining Ruby's channel this morning. I really appreciate it. And I hope you guys work out that identity issue you're having there. All right. So thank you for checking out 7 Songs and a Companion J Church. And of course, this ties into Yelp Fridays this week with Ruby here. Ruby, take it to the max, to maximize your Ruby power, Ruby. Yeah, it's that kind of morning already. We are going away from trading cards and comic books this week to bring you an episode of Yelp Fridays, and I mean, I want to celebrate where I live and where I work, and so we're reading Yelp reviews for the J Church Muni line this week, and of course, crossover to 7 Songs and a Companion, who is doing the J Church the band 45 Fridays today. So I hope that we have a long career with Ruben and Jennifer. Ruben. What an unfortunate. Did you see that guy's face? Oh my God. Only a face a mother can love. Not like Ruby. Handsome as hell. Yeah, Ruby's pretty confident. Anyways, that's 2 minutes of your life you're not getting back there. So I do have my backup copies. I am going to read from the teleprompter, aka Monitor 2, and my eyes not going to be looking here because that's the camera. So I'll try to look back here and acknowledge you because you guys are all sexy. Ooh. No, I mean, you're beautiful and it's really nice to have you here. And you know what? Go on, brush your shoulders off. You're sexy too. You are. Go on, brush some shoulders off. You're feeling it, aren't you? All right, there's one Jay-Z line. Okay. With a Grammarly score of 97, only 6 minutes to get to this point, Manly from Iowa has 407 friends, 275 reviews, 5 photos. Based on when this review was put out, I like the ratio. Look, do me a favor, stop touching me. Or at least cut back on the Viagra. Wait. I was trying to look at the camera. I did not read that true to form. I want to be true to form. All right, reset. Look, do me a favor and stop touching me. Or at least cut back on the fucking Viagra. You asshole. I don't want to be groped in public right now. That's what Buena Vista Park is for. Okay, what have we learned? If you are ready to be groped and you are looking to be groped, Buena Vista Park is apparently the place for you. So keep that in mind in case you ever need a little groping. Useful 19? Hell yes. Bunny 34? Oh my God, can we just put infinity on that? and cool 19. Yes, I would add one to each one of those categories, and if I could cheat, I would make funny and cool much higher. Oh, with a Grammarly score of 93, Katie M. from San Francisco, California, has 9 friends, 93 reviews, 26 photos. And make sure I have hers on backup, just in case we get to that point where we need that. I wish I could give the J, and this is the J Church Muni line, 5 stars for the view. I can definitely say that I fell in love with San Francisco on the J. Right when it winds through the greenery covered walls between 22nd and 20th, and then opens up the view of the skyline via Dolores Park. It's pretty breathtaking. That said, ... Oh, Jay, I would love you. And our relationship could be so good. But my blouse cat could make you run more efficiently than you currently do. Blase cat. But my blase cat, what did I say? I think I mispronounced it the first time. But my blase cat can make you run more efficiently than you currently do. That's funny. I don't have to tell you if you know it's funny. I'm saying it to myself. I'm saying it to justify my laughter. I will say sometimes it arrives on time and as expected. During those other times, however, my feelings about the J can be summarized into the following points. Okay, here comes the breakdown. We're gonna have Keith M's 4 points for the other times when the J is not running on time and efficiently. 1, the J is never where you need it. Indeed, I have been duped many times by the next Muni, which informs me that the train is arriving in 4 minutes, 3 minutes, 2 minutes, arriving, wait, arriving. Is it invisible? There's no J. Oh my, I've had the same problem with AC Transit. It's like the bus is right in front of you, and I'm like, I'm not stepping out into the street. I can't see the bus. I can't see a bus. Number 2, but without fail, there will be at least 5 trains all in a row when you do not. On the rare occasion that I am taking a different train elsewhere, every damn train that goes by in service is A/N J. Naturally, who orchestrates this? When is there ever a need for multiple trains of the same letter in a row? This happens to me on the AC Transit as well. The mystery bus never shows up, and then all of a sudden there are 2 or 3 in a row, and I'm like, but why? And I understand it when there's like school and you want to like get the high schoolers picked up, but no, it happens other times too. It's just like, but why? But why? But why? Number 3, the J arrives, but sells right on by. New low, after waiting for the J 4, 3, 2, 1 arriving, it did come. But it blew by me at 20 miles per hour with the passengers on board. Now, even if that train were going out of service, why couldn't the Muni gods have disengaged the GPS tracking so the next Muni, as well as the in-station monitors, don't mislead any chilled, dripping wet people eager to go home? I'm so sorry, Keith. And Keith, number 4, The J turns into another random train, particularly if you are running late. So, also known as the surprise, it's an N phenomena. So the J turning into an M. In. I can't tell you how many times I've been settled into my seat only to hear N train, Ocean Beach, or underground, folks, this is going to be an L train, at which point we all shuffle to a disembark and wait for the next train and hope it's coming. ... and repeat. ... Useful 5, it's way too low. It's a 6 now, I add 1. Funny, yes, I gotta add 1. I would add multiple. Then cools, yeah, I'll add 1 on there. Did I say Keith? This is Katie. I'm sorry. This was Katie, not Keith. So, Ruby, we're gonna review your reading one day, and yeah. And I don't think you're gonna score high, buddy. I think Ruby needs to study phonics or take more time to read. But I always feel like I'm moving so slow here, and I hate to waste your time, but I love that you give me your time. It's this really weird balance of me trying not to take advantage or to squander what you've given me. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right. We're going to go to Courtney Y with a Grammarly score of 92. And I stopped doing like how many stars, because who cares? I mean, we're reading these for either it being a really good review and very helpful, or a review that's funny. And honestly, if we can't, the reviews are probably better than the stars anyways. The stars, forget the stars. We don't need the stars. All right. Courtney Y from San Francisco, California, 192 friends, 125 reviews, 7 photos. I depend on the J, and it blows. And every time you hear the J, it's the J Church. But, I mean, you're going to call it the J, it's slang, they're local. Yeah, it's going to, quick and easy, J, 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 J. But it's, every time we hear the J, we know it's J Church. It is the redheaded stepchild of Muni. Almost every day, one J will show up and then nothing for 30 minutes, followed by 3 J's all in a row, 1 minute apart. It's not the first time we heard it, but it's still funny. After evening commute hours, I'm lucky to get a J at all. I also like that a J is also slang for a joint, a marijuana cigarette. Do you know in San Francisco they partake in those marijuana cigarettes? Well, be careful out there on the J. When the train isn't very full, it's quite nice and civilized. It's one of the few commuter trains that can be as quiet as a library, since everyone is either reading or listening to an ever-present iPod. When it is full, you barely have breathing room. Compound that with the kids who are taking it to school, who think they're entitled to spread their legs out over 3 seats. It makes me want to stick a knife through my skull. Courtney, you're putting the anger back on yourself, and that's good. I think it's not the most positive thing, but at least you don't want to put the knives in their skull. And so, well, I don't want you to be hard on yourself. I don't want you to stab other people either. And so, that's better than stabbing them. And I mean, you're metaphorical anyways, right? So there's nothing really wrong with that. Also, once when I was commuting home, some dude standing next to me, I was seated, farted on my arm, and he knew it too. Ugh. And then there was an update. She updated. Our friend Courtney Y updated. Let's see, how much later? We won't. About 4 months later, she updated it and said, ... Someone puked next to me on my ride home after work this week. My commute has now hit a new low. I've seen some gross shit on Muni. I have. I've seen some gross shit. And but if you've been on Muni, I can't say I've seen anything grosser than you've seen. I mean, if you depend on Muni, you've seen some shit. And the fact of the matter is that you go to some other cities and it's still a far superior transit center system than some. With all of its fucked upness, it's definitely better than Houston's transit. It's definitely better than, I mean, there's a lot of places that have nothing going on for transit. And if this wasn't so easily accessible and so prevalent, then you wouldn't have all these incidents on the train. So it's almost like these incidents are a metric of how much access we have to public transportation here, with all that stuttering there. Useful 5, I'd give it another useful. Funny 8, I would definitely try to cheat that score up some more. I'd give it the 1 and then try to find multiple counts to raise it. And cool, yeah, I'd give it another 1. So Courtney, I love that review. Thank you very much for making Ruby laugh. And hopefully some of the viewers out there on Ruby Yelp Fridays, hopefully you're laughing as well. And you know, once again, thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for joining. All right, so with a Grammarly score of 88, we skipped somebody. Yeah, we almost skipped Emily C. Of 88. Emily is now in New Orleans. She has 345 friends, 53 reviews, 13 photos. My God. Where do I begin with this horrendous line? How about the time it broke down in the middle of the tunnel and we had to walk our way to Church Street? Yeah, fun times. Or how about the time, coincidentally or not, in the tunnel yet again? I can't do this straight. I can't. Or how, coincidentally or not, in the tunnel again, it came to a screeching halt without any warning and scared the living shit out of everyone on the train. Yeah, nothing says I love commuting more than seeing your fellow San Franciscans flying from one end of the train to another. You know what? I'd rather just see leaping people in the movies. Thanks. Oh, she'd rather just see that in the movies, not in real life. I'm sure some of you know what I'm talking about. And like a glutton for punishment, I take this train again and again. Usefulness is 2, funny is 6, cool is 3. Yeah, I dig it, and I would pump all those scores up by 1. Pardon me. And with the Grammarly score of 87, I'm sorry, I'm still laughing about Emily C's review. I gotta get the giggles out. Steffi, not Stephanie, but Steffi S. of San Francisco, California. 4,995 friends, 2,602 reviews, 1,062 photos. It's comedy right off the bat. The very first line is comedy. All right, 13 and above, all right? This first line is hilarious. If they're below 13, they might ask you what this means, and you might not want to tell the children what this means yet. I love San Francisco. I love it. I don't want to live in it, but I love it. The J popped my cherry. It's true, and I kind of liked it. As a noob to public transportation and a recovering germaphobe, the idea of sharing confined spaces with others was one that had me a bit fearful. I mean, bodies against bodies, all putting their hands on the same poles and breathing the same air. Yuck. It was enough to make me cringe. But now that I've gotten used to sharing the space with strangers, sort of, well, I kind of enjoy the daily show of entertainment that is my commute to and from work. So far I've seen a passed out homeless man with dreadlocks and bright orange tennis shoes holding an Etch-a-Sketch, a group of guys yelling peanuts, a guy drooling on himself, a woman bite it because she wasn't holding on to the poles and playing with her BlackBerry instead. No, it wasn't me. A couple fighting, a Sancho dog with his head sticking out of the dog carrier. Okay, he was with me and Ani, but it was still a fun sight to behold. Some punk-ass kids hanging off the back of the Muni. Is it wrong that I hope that they'd fall off? And of course, a colorful array of commuters in varying stages of pre- and post-caffeination infusion. The only downside to the J is that I haven't been able to figure out if there's really a schedule to it. This is kind of a running theme. Is there really a schedule to the J Church line of Muni? I guess there's a place to check this, but I haven't found it yet. But as long as I have a 20-minute window to get where I'm going, it seems to work out just fine. Public transportation. Who would have thunk it? Smiley face. Wink, smiley face. Okay. Steffi, that's pretty funny. Useful 10. Yeah. Funny 10. Yes. And cool 17. So I bump every one of those up by 1. And I need this to remember to go in and actually bump these scores up so that they are getting credit. I don't always remember to bump those up because I print them out and have them ready to go, and then I usually don't read them on the computer. And even now, when we read them off the computer, we're not reading them in Yelp. We're reading them off of Grammarly. So I have to make a special trip back in, and I need to remember to do that, to go back in and celebrate these reviews, because as hard as I am on the reviewers sometimes, and how I say that they don't need to make as many reviews, I actually love some of these reviews, and it is a great source of entertainment for me, and I hope it's a great source of entertainment for you as well. And so there's something disingenuous when I complain about someone having too many reviews, because obviously I need their reviews. So I think I'm a little bit hypocritical. We'll work on that. See the behavior, identify the behavior, don't like the behavior, is there something wrong with the behavior? Work on changing it. So that's something I can work on changing. Maybe I won't complain as much about people with lots of reviews. It's kind of funny though. I'm torn. See, I'm two people right now. I'm Ruben. No, I'm not Ruben. No, there's no Ruben. I'm Ruby, and Ruby loves to laugh and make you laugh. Okay, I don't know. All right, so Kristen B has a Grammarly score of 85. It's from San Francisco, California. 160 friends, 66 reviews, 12 photos. And I love this review as well. I like this review as well. It's a Dear John letter. Let me try to get some giggles out before I read this. It's going to be 30 minutes. Let's try to read this. We're going to go 45 minutes today, because I'm going to read all the reviews, and then I said I would cut some of them, and I'm not cutting any of these reviews. So this is a long episode. Just turn off when you're done with it. But I'm not giving up this quality content. I mean, what am I supposed to do? Do another J Church line review? No, this is the chance to do it. We're getting all the good reviews in. It's going to go 45 minutes. All right, let's read this. Dear J Church, I'm leaving you for Bart. I know I've told you this before, and I just keep coming back to you. I haven't been able to help it. It's easy and familiar. We have a history. You and I, how many times have we navigated the hills of Church Street together? How many times have I listened to the gentle screeching of your rails or the cheerful ringing noise you make when you begin to move? I've laughed with you. I've cried with you. I've experienced close encounters of the homeless kind with you. But I just can't take this anymore. You're consistently late. Sometimes you blatantly lie and tell me you'll be here in 5 minutes when it's more like 35. You stand me up. Then you turn off your next bus satellite receiver so I won't find out where you are. Cheater. I can't count on you, and I'm so tired of all the lies and deceit. Woo, girl. Bart demands more from me. Our relationship is not as convenient or as comfortable. I have to walk 15 minutes to get to him and then transfer to Muni to get to Mission Bay. But the key, Jay, is Bart is reliable. He is always there for me when I need him. Shows up on time for our dates. He keeps his word, and because of that, Bart and I have a far more meaningful and effective relationship than you and I could ever have. A part of me will always care for you, Jay, but I'm leaving you. It's not me, it's you. Sincerely, Kristen. I love you, Kristen. I'm so sorry you had to break up. You had to have a breakup. Kristen had a useful of 6. And I get it. Maybe people don't think it's that useful because it's funny. And funny is way more 11. So I think it's you have to read and take in what she's saying. She's saying that it's not the most reliable line. And so I think useful could be higher. Funny, I'd take it up 1. And cool, sick is a 5. I'd kick that up a notch too. Bam! Kick that up a notch. How annoying was that? I just bammed like a really dumb person. I told you I was dumb. I mean, there you go. I bammed like Elzar. Not Elzar. What's this? Elzar's the version of that cook, but he's on Futurama. There's a real cook. I don't even know the real cook's name anymore. I just know the one from Futurama. He was the parody of the real guy. Bam! That's how you know you're stupid. You go bam. Like it means something. Oh man, my IQ is going down and down and down and down. But if it keeps going down like this, I'll be able to run this country soon. Ruby for president, 2024. I wouldn't do that to myself, my family, or you. I seem to be missing a printout, but that's okay. We'll just read it strictly from the screen. If anything goes wrong, we'll just cut this one. We're not going to try to go print it out before that. With a Grammarly score of 85. Noe B from Emeryville, California. 2 friends, 50 reviews. I have a real soft spot for this particular streetcar. I can't help it because it's part of my San Francisco DNA at this point. I have loved the J Church from my first days in the city. I used to live on Liberty Street, just 4 houses from the mid-block stop. Every day I rode the streetcar, and it was more than just a good experience. I loved it in all kinds of weathers, on cold days or rainy days. It was a comfort. On sunny days, the streetscape outside the windows was better than watching television. I've been pretty fortunate not to experience anything too weird or revolting as per other riders. The only thing that I might find annoying are the occasional non-stop talkers babbling louder than a mockingbird. As if they just discovered how to put lots of words together in longer sentences. Those conversations are particularly more throwaway than cheap bubblegum. If you have ridden the J south of Liberty Street, where it passes besides backyards on those crazy curves before returning to Church Street, then you have had one of San Francisco's most interesting experiences. On a sunny day, and if cars are not crowded, not crowded, that is a very close to a sublime experience for me. I almost leave my body to fully occupy a raptured state. I can't believe I'm actually here. I say that even after years of doing it. As per the J line under Market Street, you can keep that. I only like J once it's on street level. Useful 4, funny 2, cool 10. Bump them all up. Useful up 1, funny up 1, cool up 1. And thank you. I got to scroll to the top to Noe B for your review that I didn't print out. Oops, this is the next one. I just try to flip it over. The one that should have been Noe B with a Grammarly score of 81. Captain B of San Francisco, California has 26 friends, 708 reviews, 21 photos. I remember this review. I made I got tears starting to well up in my eyes. Okay, try to calm down. Center, breathe. I made the same post on the in page line, but since it's relevant to both lines, I'll post it here as well. This is apparently a problem over 2 of the lines, the J Church and the N. Allow me to share a real experience I have had on the N line twice. The train is approaching Duboce Park, heading outbound. If you take this train, you know that after this stop, it goes into a long tunnel before the next stop. I shake the lever to get off, as does another guy the next door down. But none of the doors open. We try another door, no go. So I press the intercom button to tell the driver it isn't opening, but no response. After about 30 seconds, he moves on, never opening any of the doors in the second train that we are riding. This being the second time I have been abandoned in the Upper Haight, I decide to run up to the front car and engage the driver in conversation. Here is the paraphrase of the interaction, almost word for word. It's a paraphrase, it's almost word for word. Me, why didn't you open the back doors there? You should have shaken the handle. We did. You should have tried another door. We tried all of the doors. You should have tried to use the intercom. I did, multiple times. You didn't answer. It must have not been working. Now, if you've ever worked in customer support, have talked to good customer support, or a decent human being, you would realize that the driver did not interact with a customer appropriately. Instead, he chose to shift the blame instead of being apologetic. Again, let me reiterate that this happened twice on the N and the same scenario on the J, although less annoying since the stops are closer together. I talked to the J driver as well, since I'm curious, and they were just plain delusional, claiming they did open the doors. Muni seriously needs to train their drivers how real customer support works, although they also need to teach them how to release the doors. Release the doors. While they're at it, I'd love it if they learned how to stop leaving the microphone on. It's gross to hear them breathe heavily or eating a meatball sandwich up there. Specifically a meatball sandwich. With unemployment as high as it is now, it's truly sad and terrible the workforce can be with Muni. I realize there are some good ones out there, but I'm only speaking of the bad ones, which there are many. Useful 4, funny none, cool 2. I think that's funny. I'm going to be the first person to give that a funny. I'm shaking the camera. Sorry about that. Okay. What was Captain B? All right, and our last review of the day. Thank you for hanging out with Ruby on another Yelp Friday. Thanks for Ruben and Jennifer from 7 Songs and a Companion from joining us. We really appreciate that, and look forward to working with you two in the future. T-Dog with a Grammarly score of 78. Now in New Orleans, 19 friends, 34 reviews. Here we go. Oh, Muni, you're such a shit show. First, you only stop for about 3 seconds, and I miss you because I guess my top running speed isn't fast enough. Then 15 minutes later, you are out of service, so hopefully you aren't lying when you say you'll be here in 6 minutes. You are literally the worst, and I hate you. Useful 1, funny 0, which I disagree with. I disagree with. Cool 1, take it or leave it. I don't care. You can bump it up. It's not the fun. I mean, it's not the greatest review ever. But it's funny, and that's what I'd bump it up for funny. I'd bump funny up. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you Monday for, what are we opening Monday? Monday. Oh, Monday is October 5th. We are opening the Mixed Misha Chrome on Monday, and we're really excited to see what Misha pulls for his signature card. And we will be raffling off a second signature card for those who get in the break. We're doing a team break, so if you want to be in the Topps Chrome 2020 and you want to get a team, you want to buy a team and then have a chance at the second rookie card, leave a comment, send a message, just get a hold of us as quick as possible so we can wrap that up before Monday. Thank you, and remember, if it's not broke, let's break it on Ruby Breaks Baseball. Good day.